Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, October the 9th, and we're here to look at the new releases that have been published this week in the category of romance. Every day of the week, we look at the new releases and a different genre every day. And today is the day for love. Good morning, Mary. Happy Wednesday. Love is in the air. At least there's at least one good one in the lot. There's a lot of Christmas. A good historical romance set in Regency time is what I'm looking for. But don't got me. Not new releases. Sorry, they jumped right into Christmas. Going to watch the Beatbox unboxing by Randy after I finish here. Yay, mine has come and I haven't looked yet. Ooh, nice. Quick announcements. Wednesday night, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday nights. I do have them tomorrow night, though. Tomorrow, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. I do them 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and Saturday afternoons at 3. All right, let's jump into love. Christmas Sweater Weather by Jacqueline Snow. Charlotte Calhoun has avoided Hayden Porter, her older brother's sexy as sin best friend, ever since that mortifying night when he flat out rejected her. Fine, except this Christmas season, they're thrown together at a snowy ski resort for her brother's bachelor party, complete with mistletoe, cozy fireplaces, and adjoining rooms. She can tell herself to get over Hayden, but holiday cheer is turning to holiday lust every time he is within 10 feet of her. Between being a full-time single father and his high-pressure college coaching job, a romantic relationship is off the table for Hayden. But he's fought his attraction to Charlotte for as long as he can. A one-night stand is starting to sound like a good idea, as long as her brother never finds out. But with 2 long weeks until the wedding, hiding their growing feelings is going to take a Christmas miracle. People can take 2 weeks off just for a wedding. Double Apex by Josie Juniper. First in the Frontrunners series. Oh, thank you very much. Phaedra Morgan. Oh, this is a Formula One romance. Phaedra Morgan is one of the best race engineers in Formula One. She's a math prodigy with dazzling skill, cutting wit, and no patience for matters of the heart. Of course, her job would be a lot easier. She didn't keep butting heads with their team's cocky and infuriating hot new driver. Cosmin Ardalin is intense and committed, but as famous for his off-track romantic exploits as his on-track wizardry. Yet his devil-may-care facade conceals a haunted past. When the pair strikes up a secret and thrillingly forbidden arrangement to improve their communication and bond of trust, the heat of their attraction turns to something more. But no secret stays hidden for long in the racing world, excuse me, and soon things are spinning out of control. With everything on the line, will they be able to strip away all their defenses and go full throttle for a chance at love? Christmas Eve Love Story by Ginny Baird. Annie Jones works hard designing windows for iconic New York City department store Lawson's Finest. So when her Christmas window display gets upended by some rambunctious kids on Christmas Eve, the all too realistic store Santa gives Annie a little decorating tip on how to start over. With help from friendly security guard Braden Tate, Annie repairs the damage and heads home. But when she wakes up the next morning, she's bewildered to find that it isn't Christmas Day at all, but Christmas Eve all over again. Trapped in a time loop, Annie doesn't know how she'll ever make it back to the present. Luckily, she has an infinite number of chances to get things right. Little everyday choices bring her closer to Brayton and to Christmas Day, Annie starts to picture what her new life, one full of friendship, love, and community, could look like. Christmas in Chestnut Ridge by Nancy Nagel. In the enchanting mountain town of Chestnut Ridge, where tree farms blanket the hillsides and the promise of a white Christmas is ever present, a heartwarming holiday romance is about to blossom. When Sheila's best friend convinces her to help decorate a tree in the annual Christmas Tree Stroll fundraiser, she embarks on an unexpected journey of self discovery, all wrapped in the cozy embrace of a tight knit community. As she immerses herself in the joy of twinkling lights, hot cocoa, and the camaraderie of the townsfolk, Sheila's world begins to transform, and she finds a sense of belonging she never knew she needed. Meanwhile, Tucker, the town's reliable fire captain, is gathering volunteers to help a family with four young children who have just lost their home to a devastating fire weeks before Christmas. Sheila offers her helping hand, and as the town rallies to support the family in their time of need, sparks of love begin to flicker between her and Tucker. End of row one. Crossroads by Chris Jane. Love on the road, love on the rocks. The last thing Jasmine Cross expects to have it is to have her relaxing weekend in Big Sur crashed by Gabe Hunter. Back in Texas, all they do is clash over everything from crystals to competitive cooking. Yes, he's smart and handsome, and sparring with him lights a hot fire hot enough to keep her warm under a cold, starry sky. But after years of heartbreak, she's sworn off serious relationships. Gabe doesn't want to be stuck in the woods with woo-woo Jasmine, even if there's something about her that works its way under his hyper-rational skin. He's still reeling from his divorce and focused on being a good father to his teenage daughter. The last thing he needs is to fall for his boss's free-spirited sister. When a storm forces them into the cozy confines of a single tiny tent, their chemistry becomes undeniable. But what happens when they land back in the real world and the family dramas complicate their blooming romance? Arriving at a crossroads, can Jasmine and Gabe navigate the emotional wilderness to find lasting love? This is fourth in a romantic series, it looks like. Maggie Shane has a new one. I did check. This is new in a new series. The Texas Brand Generations. This is called Harrison Hyde and the Runaway Bride. Maria Michelle Brand Monroe. She's a newly licensed vet and will take over her mom's clinic in their dusty Southwest Texas town. She's getting married too. Her perfectly planned out life is finally underway. Then, on the morning of her wedding, she learns something about her groom that hits her plans like a freight train. Harrison Hyde. He's a scientist whose life work is done, and he has no idea what comes next. His solitary drive across Southwest Texas to a demonstration of his ultra-efficient solar tile will give him time to think about what he wants. Whatever it is, it'll be back east where his family is, where he's grown up, where his mother is buried. A year ago, he'd promised his dying mom he would keep the family together, and it isn't going well. The meet. When Harrison stops to stretch his legs on a trail, a redhead in a tattered wedding dress runs right into him, knocking him flat and demanding a ride out of town. Over the next 24 hours, Harrison is beaten up, his car is stolen, and his prototype with it. But Maria's huge and thoroughly Texan family takes him in, determined to help. Maria realizes in short order that the good old boy she'd been about to marry was all wrong for her. She's fallen hard for a handsome nerd who doesn't even wear cowboy boots. Harrison's life and his promise are back east, but his heart's attached to a runaway bride in Quinn, Texas. I Did Something Bad by War. I apologize. I probably really ruined that. You weren't exaggerating about romance and Christmas themes today. I'm not. Now this brooding guy on the cover is more like it. I know, when you look for the brooding guy that as refreshing, we're in trouble. When freelance journalist Ken Heimar is assigned by Vogue to get a scoop on Tyler Tunn, Hollywood's hottest movie star, she's determined to succeed. Tyler has returned home to Myanmar to shoot his latest film, and if Ken's able to get an exclusive, they may well be a permanent position waiting for her at Vogue Singapore. Tyler has a very private life and doesn't show any sign of letting down his walls for Kin, but then, one night on set, a man follows Kin into the park. When he threatens her, Tyler steps in and things escalate fast. Kin knows they can't go to the police even if this was self-defense, and even if this stranger seems to have targeted her specifically. As Kin and Tyler work together to hide their secret and find out more about her attacker, they grow closer, and Tyler finally starts opening up. But now the idea of writing the article gives Kin an uncomfortable morality-related guilt. Before long, everything hangs in the balance. Will they get away with murder? Can Kin get the expose she needs for her dream job? And is she willing to risk Tyler's trust in the process? Josephine, the Scottish Lions book, #1 by Anne Gregor. You would think that this is a historical. It is not. Jo should have been leery when she found out the name of her client's new club, Veleno, poison in Italian. Each floor was an ode to snakes. Foreshadowing 101. Josephine O'Connor was born and raised in Oklahoma, but traveled the world for her parents' hospitality business. Jo jumped at the chance to spend months in Rome working on a colossal new club because it gave her less time to miss the man who tore her heart out. Betrayal called 4 months ago, and unfortunately, she answered. As if losing her boyfriend wasn't enough, Jo found a mysterious room at her new job site, a room she was clearly never meant to see. Adding to her overflowing plate of bad decisions and work woes, a man from Josephine's past has returned, and his intentions are anything but platonic. He hurt her when she was 18. What does he want with her now? Thomas McGregor was a brawny Scotsman, retired Royal Marine, owner of a successful security business and a shadow of his former self. He worked, he spoke, he ate, but he wasn't living. Josephine had left him, blocked him so effectively from her life that he could barely breathe from missing her. After months of silence, Thomas discovered through mutual friends that Jo was acting strangely. What else could he do but book a flight to Italy and uncover what troubles had found her? End of row 2. Love you a lot, Kay. By Amanda Elliott. Snow is falling, holiday lights are twinkling, and Abby Cohen is pissed. For one thing, her most annoying customer, Seth, has been coming into her cafe every morning with his sunshiny attitude, determined to break down her carefully constructed emotional walls. And as the only Jew on the tourism board of her Vermont town, Abby's been charged with planning their fledgling Hanukkah festival. Unfortunately, the local vendors don't understand that the story of Hanukkah cannot be told with light-up plastic figures from the nativity scene, even if the three wise men wear yarmulkes. Desperate for support, Abby puts out a call for help online and discovers she was wrong about being the only Jew within 100 miles. There's one other, Seth. As it turns out, Seth's parents have been badgering him to find a nice Jewish girlfriend home to New York City for Hanukkah, and if Abby can survive his incessant, irritatingly handsome smiles, he'll introduce her to all the vendors she needs to make the festival a success. But over latkes, donuts, and winter adventures in Manhattan, Abby begins to realize that her fake boyfriend and his family might just be igniting a flame in her own guarded heart. You know what? That has possibilities. I like a twist on the usual Hallmarky things. Sharon Sala has a new one. This is a new one. I checked. Snowy Mountain Christmas. 1 minute Trey Austin is driving through torrential rain. The next, he's being rescued from a car wreck by an angelic woman with the courage to brave the storm. Her face was the last thing he saw before he lost consciousness. No one got her name, but she lost one shoe stuck in the mud. It's Trey's only clue, so he takes to the internet, hoping against hope that he'll find his angel. Just when he's almost given up, Trey gets a message from Marley Corbett, owner of a cozy bed and breakfast in Colorado, and he instantly knows he's found her. Without hesitation, Trey heads to the mountains to meet Marley, just in time to spend an unforgettable Christmas snowed in with his dream girl, who, when finally in front of him, is even more special than he remembers. Cinderella, anyone? And how did this person in Colorado know? Did she say, "Oh, I lost a shoe"? Trying to save somebody? This is an anthology. We'll just take a brief look at it. It's by Sheila Roberts, Kathleen Fuller, and Pepper Basham, Mistletoe Season, Three Christmas Stories. Stealing His Heart. This one also had possibilities, as in it was different. Stealing His Heart by P.A. DePaul. She's a thief. He's FBI. Together they're about to execute the heist of their life. Everyone thinks the big shot CEO who kidnapped my uncle is an amazing humanitarian. He's not. He's holding Uncle Liam hostage to force me and my crew to steal a dangerous specialized computer for him. I'm Holly Bell, and that's what my uncle, my only family I have left, raised me to do. Steal things. We're amazing at it. If you can't get justice anywhere else for your property that's landed in the wrong hands, that's when you hire us to steal it back. We only steal for good. But this time I'm in over my head. That's why I decide to do the impossible, or the insane. Recruit the FBI agent who's been chasing us for 6 months. Jackson Kendrick is the head of the specialized FBI unit dedicated to capturing me and my crew. He's gotten so close so many times that I fear our days are numbered, but I'll manage to talk this committed man into catching a much bigger criminal, the crooked CEO holding my uncle. Not only would Jackson receive Gold Star accolades for this unprecedented arrest, he'll show his short-sighted boss that suspending Jackson for not hauling me in when he had the chance was a big mistake. If only Jackson hasn't been living rent-free in my wildest fantasies. Working with him day in and day out has us discovering a sexy, unlikely obsession that can only lead to heartache, since we're on opposite sides of the law. Yet, as my new partner in crime, Jackson's good at playing the bad guy. He fits in with the misfit crew of hackers, a mistress of disguise, and a guy who's good at making things go boom. I need all the leverage I can get. He needs to stay on his toes. I'm a thief, after all. By the time we steal a computer, I might also steal his heart. End of row 3. The December Market by Ray Ann Thane. This is also a new one. I did check. She is a name. Amanda Taylor isn't a fan of Christmas, but as the owner of a local soap shop, ignoring the holiday season isn't an option. To forget the pain of Christmas's past, Amanda focuses on making the season bright for her customers at the Shelter Springs Holiday Giving Market. But when her beloved grandmother Bertie starts dating the dashing new resident of the Shelter Inn retirement community, Amanda smells trouble. Fortunately, Rafe Arredondo, the handsome son of Bertie's charming suitor, is equally dubious of the match. Unfortunately, he's just as fiery as his grandfather, and Amanda has zero interest in getting burned. As a single father, paramedic, and assistant fire chief, Rafe has more than enough on his plate. Sure, he and Amanda share a common goal in keeping their grandparents apart. Still, that doesn't mean he should allow himself to feel as drawn to her as he does. Even if she is great with his young son, even if she doesn't help the burden of his own painful past feel a little lighter. But when their paths keep crossing at the holiday market, it starts to feel like fate, prompting them both to wonder if taking a chance on love might gift them everything they've been wishing for. A, who are you to keep senior people apart if they are falling in love? And B, is it just me, but has Hallmark kind of killed the Christmas romances in book form? I mean, they all sound like Hallmark wannabes. I mean, for some people that's a good thing, but in other target audiences, it's like same old, same old. The Holiday Honeymoon Switch by Julia McKay. Holly Beach and Ivy Casey are bury the body besties. They're so in sync they even look alike. When Holly's fiance jilts her, leaving her in shock with a non-refundable honeymoon, Holly convinces Ivy to switch places. Ivy will go on the Hawaiian honeymoon her best friend can't bear to take alone, while Holly escapes to Ivy's rented Hudson Valley cabin to binge watch holiday movies and heal. But Holly's wallowing is interrupted when her rugged Airbnb host turns out to be her high school academic rival, who's had a major glow up. Meanwhile, Ivy's now Hawaiian annual solo art retreat is upended when Holly's ex-fiance checks into the honeymoon suite with a new woman. Raging and bedless, the last thing Ivy expects is for the hot hotel bartender to come to her rescue. Against all odds, this Christmas might prove the most magical yet. The Wedding Engagement by Zoe Allison. Scottish schoolteacher Liv Holland has a secret. She's been carrying a torch for Erin Adebayo, her brother's best friend, for years. A blind date gone wrong cements in Liv's mind that Erin has no romantic interest in her whatsoever. But then, with her brother set to marry her own best friend, she and Erin are enlisted to help plan the festivities. After being left at the altar by his ex, single father Aaron is having trouble managing his growing feelings toward the woman who is both his best friend's sister and his son's teacher, Liv. Then his mind is blown when fate thrusts them together for an unexpected blind date, but he messes up his chance to tell her how he feels. As the big day approaches and Liv and Aaron's connection intensifies, their chemistry chafes against their checkered romantic histories. Risking everything for love can mean losing each other forever, or being the next ones to find their happily ever after. Christmas in Aspen by Anita Hughes. Editor Carolyn Holt is on her way to her late mother's upstate cabin in Hudson to spend the holidays. She was supposed to be in London having a holiday romance, but this Christmas she isn't in the mood to get her heart broken again. Carolyn loves being an editor, but in the last year burnout has taken over. She has been mourning her mother and she's looking to get that spark back. In the cabin, Carolyn finds a letter addressed to her mother. It's in a red envelope, and the return address is Santa's Little Red Mailbox in Aspen, Colorado. The letter's from a man declaring his love for her mother. He'll be waiting for her in front of the Little Red Mailbox at 3 p.m. on New Year's Eve. An affair to remember, anybody? Unable to ignore her curiosity, Carolyn takes the next flight to Aspen to meet her mother's mysterious lover, but things start getting complicated when she meets another man in town. The more they run into each other, the more she is drawn to him, and when Carolyn finds out the truth about the person her mother had loved, she unravels secrets of her own past. By the end of Christmas week, Carolyn gets a chance to rewrite her own destiny by confronting her fears of loving again and possibly leaving behind what she thought was a perfect life. And that is all we have time for. The only other one here was not more on the erotica side, Time to Bounce by Lenny Lynn Vale. But that is all we have time for today. That is so funny. You're on the same train of thought. I was thinking the same thing about Hallmark and Christmas romances. Pretty much, yep. Two, indeed. Hey, Emily. And Mary was explaining it's the bargain bead box, a beading subscription that comes monthly, and it's always a surprise what it contains. Mary and I met on another YouTube channel for doing beading, Thunder Horse Descendant. Her name is Randy, and Bargain Bead Box is, as Mary mentioned, a subscription for beads and findings to make your own jewelry. And it is extremely value oriented. There's a lot of things in this box for a very good price. And it being, it usually has a theme of color or along those lines. So it's always exciting to see it open each month to see what the new cool things are. And Mary is kind enough to come see me on my channel. Gotcha. How you doing, Emily? Well, that is it for romance today. Tomorrow we'll be looking at fantasy and science fiction. There is a new one tomorrow in the fantasy romance that has been a really popular series. So I'm sure people are happy about that. Hope you guys have a good Wednesday. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night, but I will have them tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2.5 hours. I was, I'm free of doing my crochet bedspread. It has been gifted already. So I was reading yesterday a fabulous political intrigue thriller I got to 75%. It came out yesterday. I got to 75% yesterday. It is so fun. It is a master class in how Washington, D.C. power politics with that level of I won't say government, but at that level and with the media. And it is super, super good. It's called The Slate by Matthew Fitzsimmons. Beads can get super expensive. They can indeed. They can indeed. If you ever looking for beads or findings, Thunder Horse Descendant, she sells online, and she's in Minnesota. She's very, very, very reasonably priced. Is she gets them from a store there in Taylor's Falls, and I think she pretty much does it for the price that she gets them there. She's really great. Again, it's Thunder Horse Descendant. Have a great day. Have that right, Emily. Indeed. So ready for the weekend. Me too. This week and weekend are going to be busy. Oh, goodness. Hope everyone has a good day and stay safe. Indeed. Everybody, please, please, please be safe. You're in my hearts. And let us know how you're doing. If you are in the areas that are going to be impacted, we want to know that you are safe. Otherwise, we'll see you soon. As the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.